What's going on YouTube? Kronos here and welcome back to the channel. I wanted to just do a quick little video talking about how I farm seasonal points during the event itself. Now, quick disclaimer, I know some of my colleagues did a video similar to this where they covered the fastest way to farm your 150,000 points. Now, while I don't disagree with doing it that way, I'm someone who, one, doesn't like to mindlessly farm just for the points by themselves. I kind of like to kill two birds with one stone and do multiple things at one time. So what I'm going to recommend is something that you can do to farm your points while also farming experience and maybe make it a bit more leisure for yourself, possibly farming some loot, getting some casual drops, maybe making some money all at the same time. So for that, we're going to talk about a few things. First, the zone that we're going to be going to. So if I pull up my map, I'm not going to pronounce this zone, but you can see it here, Redum Alnote, something like that. Anyway, this zone on rank 2 is fantastic to farm if you know what you're doing. Primarily what you're pushing for are PSE bursts. Now, if there's a sandstorm going on, that makes this substantially easier, but realistically all you're going to do is get into a group of 8 people, preferably get your friends because that way you can coordinate a little bit more, but if you're just getting randoms, that's totally fine as well. Just run around, kill all the enemies in the area itself until your PSE gets buffed all the way up to almost being full, and then go ahead and take out a target or a trial. It'll push your PSE over the top, and tons and tons of points will be available for you, along with experience, along with items to drop to then drag into your to drag over out of your inventory that turns into cash. So it's not a ton of money, but it's a decent amount, and you might get super lucky and a relic could drop, who knows. Now, why else I mentioned like experience. So I did this on Force. I started around level 33, I believe. And it took me about an hour and I was already level 35 just from doing PSE bursts. And I think I had a plus 5% experience buff at the time, but realistically speaking, you don't even need to have that. It goes through very, very, very quickly. Now, if you had a choice, I would say to do this on Force. The reason for it is Zan is incredibly powerful for doing this process. Literally just Zan, charge Zan over and over and over again. I actually Z-aim it personally, and it just takes out an entire section of enemies. You guys are going to see the footage. It might be on screen now or it might be on screen a little bit later, but you can absolutely obliterate enemies that are in front of you with very, very little effort. Now, this works with other classes as well. You can of course do this with something like Ranger if you were to use Rifle. You can use Bouncer if you're using Soaring Blades that have really good AoE. There's tons of different classes you can do this with. I just recommend if you're trying to kind of optimize a little bit and you need to level Force anyway, I would say take Force. It was probably one of the most relaxing experiences I've had as far as grinding realistically goes. Now, keep in mind you can still go to the lower level zones, kill enemies super fast, and you will get tons of seasonal points that way. You also have the option of opening up the shop. If you hit escape, head over to the shop, head over to item recycle, and scroll down. We have the winter S points plus 100%. Now, if you're someone who's going to be playing a lot, during the rest of the week, there is almost no reason for you to use these. But if you feel like you're going to have limited time or you want to kind of hyper focus on farming and then move on to something else, these are pretty great to use. I would say pick them up one at a time. I made the mistake of picking up a few thinking I was going to need them, and then I ended up wasting some. But picking up one at a time isn't too bad, and then go hard for that 1 hour, see where you get. In about an hour, I was able to pull off getting about 70,000 points, as well as leveling up twice, basically, getting tons of money. I think I started off at like 52.1 or 52.2 mil. No, I'm sorry. It's 52.1 mil. It made about 600K just, killing a bunch of enemies and doing PSE bursts. So it's pretty solid money. It's nothing too terribly bad. You also end up getting great experience and you get tons of points. So how can you really go wrong? Anyway guys, this is a short video. I just want to let you guys know how I farm points, my recommendations. Of course, again, I'm going to leave a link in the video description over to both Gemma's and over to Karo's videos. They talk more about hyper focusing on the farming and getting it done as fast as possible. But if you're like me, you like to multitask a bit and get more than just that one thing done. Anyway guys, thanks for watching all the way in, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Peace out.